Welcome, children of light. You tuned into the Phoenician Star. We're going to begin by taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's go. For those of you who are new to my channel, I always breathe before starting. And for those of you who are not new, hopefully you can remember why we do this. We breathe to support our life force energy. We tend to forget that breathing is kind of how do I put it, the dividing factor between the living and the non-living things. Everything that lives breathes. The Bible says, I put into man the breath of life, or something like that. I don't know it by heart. But there are also verses in the Bible that says, life is but a breath, and that I will never see happiness again. That's from the book of Job, I believe. And what that really means to me essentially is that we only have this life that we're presently in. Now, whether or not you believe in different lifetimes and all that, let's not get into that for the time being. You only have this life. And the only way that you can enjoy this life is to take the time to take deep breaths. Your employer is not going to care that you don't take deep breaths, that you're not saving time for yourself to collect yourself, to be more understanding of you. Nobody is really going to care about that. As much as your family loves you, they're not going to say, hey, wait a minute, take a deep breath, because they got their own things going on. You've got to set aside time for you to enjoy the fact that you can still breathe in and breathe out. Even if you're on a breathing machine, that's still helping you. You're still here. You're still alive. You're still able to experience all these wonderful things that humans can experience. Take the time for yourself just to breathe. I am tapping into someone who needs to be reminded of what I talked about in the last reading, that you have already said your prayers, you have already filled out that job application, you have already told someone how you feel, you have already put in your notice. There's something that you have already done, you've already manifested, you've already prayed on something, you've already done what it is that you need to do, and the rest of it you need to leave to God, leave to the universe, leave to whatever it is that you need to leave it to, whatever is in charge of your life. There's no use in worrying. I feel like some of you kind of need something to do in this wait period. Get your coloring book. Start sculpting, start painting, start drawing, watch some cartoons. Some of you may think that that's funny and weird, but it's not. Do something, I hate to say mind numbing, but you do kind of need to numb your mind for a little while. You're not going to be able to sit in that, all day long. You're going to have to, sorry, like, it's present. These readings are timeless, but presently it's the weekend, and I do have people home. I do have a family, so you may hear some movement. You may hear people going in and out. I can't make them be quiet and stop living just because I want to do a reading. Anyway, I'm also tapping into somebody who needs to seek help of some kind. I don't know what kind of help, but I do want to let you know that there's nothing wrong with seeking help. It's okay to ask for help. I guess those are all of the immediate messages that's coming down. So I pulled some cards, and strength is at the bottom of the deck already. Um, I'm feeling like someone has kind of lost their strength, and the way that you can regain it is to kind of know your mind. You're not going to be able to sit in that the whole time. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to cook. You're going to have to like do whatever it is that you need to get through your day. But in whatever moment that you can steal away from yourself, then you need to do that. You feel like you can't sustain your life right now. You feel like you've been fighting for no reason. You've been helping your child, and it doesn't seem to be making a difference. I feel like to whoever that is, that is going to make a difference in the long run. There's going to be one day that your child is going to look back and say, I remember when they said. As you do, I'm pretty sure my listeners, or you are remembering something that someone who raised you or someone that was around you said. It's like when you raised a child in the way that they should go when they get older, they return to it. We're all young, we all make mistakes. Now, please remember that these are general readings. Only a fragment of it may be meant for you. If it's not meant for you, then maybe this is not your reading. You can't blend in anymore. And while you can't blend in anymore, I still feel the need to say you kind of have disappeared in some shape, form, or fashion. You have completely disappeared. It's like people are looking for you and they can't find you. People are trying to talk to you and they can't talk to you. Either they don't have the words, or they don't see an opening for them to insert their opinion themselves, their desire for your life, or something like that. There's something about you not being seen. You're not hiding from yourself really, but you are hiding from other people. And I feel like this is unintentional. You've gone into hermit mode, but it is not you that has placed yourself there. It is your spiritual team. They're covering you for something. It's like even in the midst of your own darkness, you're finding a way to help others. I don't know who that's for, but I'm seeing like a lot of specific things. It's like you've helped somebody and you don't even know it. Or you there's something about you, like even though you're like down on your knees, you've done something for somebody else and you don't even realize it. Clarify this, please. It's like you don't even really have to be discerning right now. It's like everything that is for you is going to come to you, and everything that is going to bring you any hurt, harm, danger, anything like that, you're shielded from that. I'm feeling a lot of pressure in my head, and it came really all of a sudden. And again, I feel like somebody is really worried about an outcome or how things are. It's like you know how they say my head is above water, or I can't keep my head above water. You feel like you're drowning. You're not, but it really feels like you are. Anyway, I have to go on with that. The energy is kind of heavy today. It's not really all around the place, but it is. It is quite heavy. Man, I will say that I'm tapping into someone who really needs some rest. There's so much on your mind right now. The things that are on your mind are things that you can't do anything about. I feel like I need to say that you are not Christ Jesus. You cannot save the world. And I feel like I'm talking to somebody who has maybe tried to save things, save people, save themselves. And there's only so much that you can do. That's why those deep breaths are so important, because it brings you back to the present moment. You're realizing, hey, I am alive. I have done the best that I could do. And the rest of it is up to divine, up to spirit, up to God. Somebody's ancestors are around them teaching them. I'm also seeing someone go into a leadership position, and this could mean career wise, but it could also mean within your household. There's a different type of leadership that needs to take place, and this could be you showing up more actively within your household or at your job, or this could mean you kind of stepping back a little bit and allowing the people within your home to develop their personalities. I'm getting a helicopter parent or a helicopter person. Um, yeah. It's like I am tapping into somebody who's been having some weird dreams lately. You can't make sense of them, and that's okay that you can't make sense of them. Whatever knowledge has come to you through your dreams, when it happens in real life, and you're gonna kind of start seeing it happen in real life, you'll know. Okay, I was warned about this. I was told about this, and there's no reason for you to be fearful. You need to kind of open up yourself and allow those divine messages to come in. So when things start taking place that really cause you to move, you know exactly how to move because you've already seen it play out in your dreams. Clarify that, please. I've, I'm getting, sometimes it's hard for me to explain what is going on in the spiritual world and put it into the human tongue, because the spirit world doesn't speak the same language. So try to bear with me as I do this. Hold on just a second. Yeah, sorry about that. Something about society has taught us to be our own worst enemy, to always feel like we're not enough, that we don't have enough, that we'll never be good enough, or something of that nature. Um, this was this was really the intended purpose of, I want to say, to a certain extent, religion. Not just religion, but religion is coming out. It's like, as Christians, we're taught that we're born into sin, okay? And they teach that we're filthy rags, in the sight of God. And what that subconsciously does is it makes us feel like there's nothing that we can ever do to be good enough in the sight of God. And I do believe, this is a personal opinion, I believe that the people who wrote the Bible, or who changed the Bible, or who manipulated it to say what it was that they wanted it to say, that they did that so that you can always feel like you need something outside of yourself to be whole, that you needed the government, that you needed a priest, that you, or a pastor, that you needed always something outside of you, instead of realizing that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. The Bible also says that, which is contradictory. So here's the thing: if you are beautifully and wonderfully made, if he took the time to develop you within your mother's womb, how can you then be a filthy rag in the sight of God? That's a contradiction. And I'm not saying don't stop believing in God. I'm not saying anything of that. I'm just saying that the people who manipulated the Bible didn't see how much of a contradiction that they were posing to people. Or maybe they saw it and they wanted you to feel confused about what it is that God is saying. I believe that we are beautifully and wonderfully made. I believe that he did stitch us together inside of our mother's wombs to be who we are, just plain and simple who we are. We don't have to change. We don't have to feel like we're not good enough. We just are that. If we are made in God's image, then we are perfect just as we are. It's all this other societal stuff that comes up that makes you feel like, okay, everything is hopeless. There's nothing I can ever do. I have to work really hard to gain God's love, when really God's love is already within you. He already loves you. He wants you to make good decisions, yes. He wants you to do the right thing, yes. But his love is already within you. And society has taught you to be an enemy of yourself and always seek to destroy and tear down and reinvent yourself new instead of accepting and loving yourself for who and what you are. And then it teaches other people to not love you for who you are. And I know that you've seen this, especially if you're one of the outsiders, kind of not in the in crowd, you see that all of the people who are well liked, who get the things that they want, they're just like everybody else. They're all carbon copies. And you only seem to get a reward in life if you change yourself and be just like everybody else. There is no reward for individuality. They say that they want something original, but when they are faced with originality, they shape it and twist it and mold it into something else. And to my listeners, there's something coming out about you just being yourself. You don't have to go and get all of this work done. You don't have to go and make sure that you're the smartest one in the room and learn all this different stuff, get these, new degrees. There's something to be said about you just accepting you for who you are as. And this came out in another reading. There's someone who is kind of missing. There's a vitamin deficiency. There's someone who is missing some kind of vitamin. There's something about the way you're eating that's not quite healthy. Also, it's also coming to me. There's somebody who's dealing with an addiction, and it's okay to seek help, outside help. Um, Someone needs to kind of sit on the ground or sit on the floor. There's something about getting more grounded, and what could help you is like sitting on a base, sitting on something that's not going to fall, trusting that the universe has you, and just sitting down, doing your deep breaths on the ground. You're a tree in the dirt, in the grass. There's something about being on the ground or on the ground floor. I feel like for some of you, you're on the ground floor of a business. You're trying to build something. You've gotten involved with a startup. You're looking into investing. Um, I'm picking up on real estate for somebody that was specific. Um, but there's something about grounding, getting down on the ground floor. And there's also something about getting on the ground floor with a creation of some sort. um, There's also something about the moon cycle. I don't really keep up with that unless it's like really, really big. I know that we had kind of like two moons not too long ago, and I know that I think it was on the 17th of October of 2024 that the full moon was in effect. I, the moon does have an effect on you right now, and that may be why you feel whatever it is that you're feeling because of the moon cycle. It does, just like it affects the waves, it affects the water within us. Okay. There's something to be said, which also comes out a lot about being in between. And I feel like you children of light that's what you are. You're in between worlds. And to try to put it in a way that I understood best, yesterday I wound up watching the Disney cartoon, The Sword and the Stone. Yes, I watch a lot of cartoons still. Um, but Merlin said something to Arthur when he turned him into a fish, and he said, "You're somewhere in between the ceiling and the floor. Not on the floor, not at the ceiling. You're somewhere in between." And I feel like that resonates for a lot of you because that's where you are. That's where you've always been. You've never been one thing or the other. You've never been bad. You've never been really good. You've never been super smart. You've never been super dumb. You're just somewhere in the middle always. You're not cool, but you're not, a complete outsider. People don't hate you, you're always somewhere in between. And if you're going to operate in your power, you've got to realize that you are in the great in between, that you are operating in the middle between the physical world and the spiritual world. Now, you learning how to operate within that field is going to be different for each person, and I can't get into that in a general reading, but it's just the knowledge and being able to hear and confirm that you really are between worlds. You're somewhere between the ceiling and the floor, somewhere between the physical and the spiritual world, and you've got to first acknowledge your location and then learn how to operate within that field. Um, Somebody's posture or back has been giving them some problems. It's somebody maybe has hurt or cut their leg. A lot of physical stuff is coming out, and that's okay. But hold on 1 second. Somebody's about to get a call, and you're either about to get confirmation that you have the job position, or you're about to get called in for an interview. That just don't worry about whatever it is that you've manifested or prayed for up until this point. You've got to release it. I feel like your head is about to explode. Don't allow it to. Get your coloring book or something. Do something that's mind numbing. Draw, paint, something. And I'm not even saying that your drawing or your painting has to look good. You just need to do something that funnels your train of thought, and you don't have to think so deeply to do it. You know what I'm saying? Play in some dirt. Get some Play-Doh or something. You need to watch your anger also right now, because I feel like you guys are operating out of your subconscious mind and you don't realize it. Also, when you color, when you draw, when you paint, whatever it is that you wind up doing to funnel this energy in a mind numbing kind of way, do it with your do it with the non-dominant hand. Like if you're right-handed, do it with your left hand. If you're left-handed, do it with your right hand. Because your subconscious mind is extremely powerful right now, and I don't think you guys realize it. And that's why you kind of need to watch out for your anger, because those anger vibes are really going to the person that you are angry at. And you need to be careful with that, because sometimes you get angry with a child, sometimes you get angry with a family member, sometimes you get angry with strangers, and you're pissed off with them. But what you don't really want, or at least I feel like you don't really want at the very core of who you are, is to hurt people. You're one of those people who want everybody to do well, you want everybody to be happy, and even though you want to slap somebody every once in a while, you really don't want to cause them harm. So you really kind of need to keep a handle on your anger right now, or at least say a prayer. Say, God, Goddess, whoever it is that you pray to, ask them to protect others from your subconscious negativity, your subconscious anger, because you don't want to hurt people. And because you may wind up hurting somebody you love, and you really don't want to do that. And you're, like I said, your subconscious is really, really powerful right now. And because you are connecting with that, I feel like I was meant to say that, because whoever I'm talking to, once you realize that you are now operating from your subconscious mind that is a lot more powerful than your conscious mind, once you realize that that's what you're operating out of, it's going to complete the cycle of rebirth. For some reason, it's going to kind of close some things out, and it's going to open some doors for you. I can't really put it any other way than that. However, it could make you sick. If you're feeling sick, and even in that subconscious state, it could mess around and manifest a sickness for you. So you've got to be careful. I feel like I need to tell somebody to move around, go for a walk, get out in nature, do a little bit of exercise and stretching, something. Put on a YouTube video and exercise and move around with them. Download an app or something to get your body moving. Something has got to start flowing, because that subconscious mind is getting full. It's really, really heavy. Okay. and it could really manifest a sickness. For those of you who are new to my channel, if ever I'm really quiet, I'm either taking my time to breathe and allowing the messages to come down, or I'm trying to set up the cards right. But as of right then, I was trying to get the message, and it's kind of it's give me just a second. Some of you are at a crossroads and you don't even know it. Some of you are around water, or need to kind of get around water. Some of you need to take a spiritual shower or bath. Some of you kind of need to maybe write whatever it is that's bothering you down, and like go to a body of water. If you can't swim, don't get close to it, but drop it in that stream, in that water, and allow it to flow away from you. There's something about going with the flow. There's something about allowing things to like go its natural normal course, not forcing anything to happen, just standing in the place that you are and allowing whatever to come, and let whatever needs to go. um you don't need to be trying to force love right now. If anybody is doing that, if like you're trying to like bring love in to your life, or trying to force somebody to love you a certain way, nothing needs to be done with love right now. The energy is a little bit too, it's too cluttered, it's too confused right now because of the moon, because of everything that's going on, because people themselves don't know what they want right now, or like the energy is so high, and nothing needs to be done with the heart. Leave the heart alone. If you're in love, you're in a relationship, you guys are mutually set on the same path, fine, it's good. Continue to nurture and grow and be there for each other. But for those of you who are in an in-between state, for those of you who put on your relationship status is complicated, just don't try to force anything in terms of love. Just kind of leave that alone for right now, because um, the heart is really strong. It's a really strong emotion. Love is really strong, and you don't need to be doing nothing with it right now. Just kind of let everything flow and guide the way that it needs to be guided. I'm hearing Gaia. I keep hearing that. Anything else that they need to hear? Some of you need to watch taking too many medications. It's like I don't know who that's for or what you're taking medication for. I'm not saying stop taking any medication. I'm just saying medication that you're not prescribed. You need to be careful of taking too much of it right now. For some of you, it's okay to let people go. And this kind of relates to what I was saying a minute ago about not forcing love. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, this is specific. This is not for everybody. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, then allow them to go their own way. If you want to be with, if you don't want to be with somebody, don't force yourself to stay there. You kind of need to like let things go as they need to go. Okay. You both will be happier in the long run if you don't force this. If somebody, if you really don't want to marry somebody, don't. That was really specific. Yeah, That strength card came back out. A lot of you are in a state of anxiety and you need to do something that numbs your mind. You need to do something that numbs your mind. Play with Play-Doh, watch cartoons, get some crayons and a coloring book, paint. You know, it doesn't have to be very good what you're doing, but it doesn't need to be a masterpiece or anything like that. Right? You know, if that numbs your pain, your anxiety. Some of you may need to clean. You know, I don't really know, but there's something that you need to do to numb your mind because there's too much going on up top. There's too much going on. Um, You need to understand that what you want wants you, and it'll come when it's time for it too, but you forcing things isn't going to help. I know that you're worried. I know that you're stressed, but there's nothing you can do right now. Please settle down. Work from your subconscious mind. Nurture your subconscious mind. And I feel like whatever mind numbing activity, not drugs. I'm not saying get drunk and numb your mind, or, you know, get high, you know, and numb your mind. It's going to have to be something that's a little bit more constructive than that. Um, I'm not judging, I'm just saying, because when you start taking in those, when you start being intoxicated, those emotions, those anxieties, they really don't do anything but become even more hyper. So don't you know, get drunk or get high to numb the pain. You're gonna have to do some kind of activity, exercise, color. I keep repeating myself, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Um, and like I said, whatever it is that you want wants you, but it's gonna come in due time, and it's not gonna work with you forcing it. If anything, if you continue to force, it's gonna turn around and go the other way because it's gonna be afraid of you. I'm just saying. I'm gonna let that be it. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for tuning in, and follow your own star.